Okay. Hello, hello. Hello. Let's see. What is up? What is going on? Let's change this. All right. Need to make this brighter somehow. All right, it's a little dark in here. A little dark in here. Oh, what just happened? Got my purple zone. We are waiting for a friend of mine running Filipino time as always. Whatever Filipino time is. Wow. Let's make this brighter. Yeah. Right. Let's make this even brighter. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Okay. It is bright. It is brighter. I'm going to play some video games actually first. So I'm going to start with video games. And then I'm going to get on the podcast chat, transparency chat. For now, I'm going to play some. I didn't even get to eat yet, but it's okay, you know. Let me actually message somebody. Bump, 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 bump. Let's play some songs. What is this? Oh, ouch. Very sad music. Very kawawa. Alright, what about this one? Oof. I think I found a good score. I think this is going to be a good song to play for some content. Hello to everyone that is on and anyone that is on. How's my day today? My day was really interesting. Let me lower down this music. Maybe put it as a background sound. But today we're going to be talking about new sites, flights, and your own setbacks. We're going to be talking about things that hold you back in life. But particularly a specific location that you've always dreamt of living in or being a part of, but trying to figure out what's holding you back. What's holding you back from going there. But for now, while we're waiting for my friend to join us, he's having dinner right now. I'm gonna go. Hello, who is Rini? Hi, Rini. Thank you for joining. I'm not sure who you are, but I appreciate you. Thank you for joining this chat. We're gonna be talking. We're gonna be doing a little podcasty style chat for the first hour or two. But obviously, I'm waiting for my friend, so we might kind of switch things around a little bit. I wonder who Rini is. Um, what did I do? Oops, I'm sorry. I changed the music. Oh no. Um, please like, subscribe. Um, come support me. Come visit me every Tuesday or every day whenever I stream. I appreciate you. Let me go back. Sorry, I changed the music. I need to go back, find the music. Eyes. Who's Rini? Expose yourself. Just kidding. Um. Okay, just kidding. Let's do something chill. Okay, these are very like scory style. We're not gonna get in too deep. But all right, let me bring it back. So today we're gonna talk about sites, flights, new sites, flights, and your own setbacks. Trying to figure out exactly what's holding you back from making your goals happen. I am Ninja's girl. Ninja like ninja, like YouTube ninja, like OG Twitch ninja, or are you talking about like someone else that I is this like a inside joke or something that I might know about that I don't remember? But welcome nonetheless. I appreciate you for showing up. How's my day today? My day was very interesting. I had work, as all most people do. Um, but it was really interesting. I got really busy. I work in a very what's the word I can a very sporadic workplace. A very inconsistent workplace. Um, and today I was actually very productive. I was really focused on my work. I just had to take care of a lot of clientele today. I think I actually set about maybe like 20 plus different clientele. I had closed certain deals. I was able to close about 6, 7 deals today, which was really good. I was really proud of it. Uh, Needed to finalize a few things before things were closed out for those deals, and very happy about my work. That's the really boring, general, nitty gritty stuff. But overall, the weather was nice, the sun was shining, and I was moping. I'm just kidding. Um, I just had a good day. Wasn't so bad. My allergies wasn't acting up, so that's really good. My eye bag's still designer as hell. I'm trying to figure out how I can light this up and change things down so that way I don't look like a bum. Um, so need to hide this. Don't judge. Mr. Kamapua, I see that you're in.
You got allergies?
Yeah, bro, I'm allergic to you, bro. I'm allergic to your BS. I'm just kidding. I'm allergic to you
Oh
being
no.
late, going on Filipino time. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Food comes first.
You try fitting in working out and then eating after you work.
Bro, I'm working out. I'm working out my brain right now because
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
I'm I'm exhausted from life. Um,
You be like that.
it'd be like that sometimes, yeah. What's
But
up,
what's up,
chat?
man?
Can you tell me if you can hear Francisco clearly? So we're gonna do this kind of one-way podcasty look where you're staring at me and I'm staring at you, but we have my friend right on the side listening to. So he's here somewhere over the rainbow. He's actually on a Discord chat with me. I'm gonna see if I could. Are you able to turn on your camera by any chance on Discord?
Not at the moment.
Oh, okay. So, but you're on your iPad or something, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I hope the soundtrack isn't too loud. I'm gonna lower down the soundtrack. Um, Rini, I'm really curious who you are.
You're hella funny.
Yeah. We have a new person in our chat. Rini Poo. Rini.
She, she was watching your stream last time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wait, is that your girl?
Yeah.
Oh, hi. Oh, hello. Thanks for joining. Ah, okay.
Actually, what did you eat today, Cyrus? Did you drink water?
Did I drink water? Do I look fat? Guys, in the future, in the future, those people that are watching in the future, do I look like I drank water today?
You should.
That's what I need to do. As a matter of fact, I need some water. No, I didn't have Sprite today. No, I did drink water. Lukewarm water though. It was disgusting. I don't know how y'all people can drink lukewarm water, but it's all about ice cold water. Like, like when you chug that thing down and it's just like gulp. Okay, that came out really wrong, but anyways, even my motion. Friska is
Oh,
ninja? No. Oh,
so as long as you drank something, okay.
yeah. Yeah, I did drink water. I drank a little bit. My work right now, the work that I'm in,
Hmm.
has gotten me to drink coffee, and you know me, I'm not a coffee person, so it's really ridiculous. Sorry, that was like a random burst of music. Um, I'm gonna lower down this volume. You should do a face mask. You should do a face mask. She's telling me that my face is messed up right now. Um,
I mean, someone's got to say it.
dang, dang, is that exhaustion, man? Um, I do have face mask. I do my skincare daily. Clearly not every day, but I do my face mask. I should
Maybe
do
that
more
can be
face.
something we talk about.
You should do the
We do
face
like
mask
our
on stream.
self-care routine.
Self care on stream.
Hmm.
Transparency Tuesdays.
Have Dino do self-care on you.
Jeez. Oh my gosh. So, oh today. Okay. Actually, let's get back on the topic. I was explaining that today's topic is new sites, flights, and your own setbacks. We're
Okay.
going to be talking about your dream city or destination that you want to go to or move to, and asking you why you would choose that place. Um, and what's holding you back. I think that's the transparency part that we want to get into is really touching base on people's setbacks, right? Like things that you maybe even in your life right now that you're like, man, if only. Those like those things that you always tell yourself like, I don't want to grow up or grow old and then one day just say like, oh man, if only I did this or if only I did that. But truthfully, I'm sure there are a few things that we have in our lives now or we don't have in our lives and we're it's in our minds where we're like, man, if only I did that sooner or if I spent that time and that time. And
Hmm.
that's where I want to get
Okay.
at with this topic. Um, but Rini, yes, one day I will. Someday soon, I'll probably do a face mask on stream and I'm gonna do a challenge soon, a really good challenge. Um, Hopefully, people will be on that.
Is it who can apply the face mask the fastest?
No, 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 no. Who can eat the face mask after using it? I'm just kidding. No, no, no.
Oh, dude,
No.
I got you.
Yeah, lychee flavors. That's my favorite.
Okay, okay.
So Frisco, yeah, let's dive into it. What's up, everybody? Looks like we're gaining some people joining in. Um, let's get into it. Let's get into that topic. New sites, flights, and your own setbacks. If you had a city that you wanted to move to, um, actually, give us a little bit of your background. Where are you from? You don't have to say where you currently are at, but you can give us a vague location or say that whether you've been spending your life here for years or if you've only been in this particular city that you're currently in right now for a few years. Um,
Got it, got it.
yeah, give us a
Okay.
little bit about your background and then tell us about where you would want to actually be.
Hmm. Well, I think first, I'm from California,
Okay.
residing in NorCal.
Okay.
Been here majority of my life, but I have been fortunate to visit overseas and travel here and there.
Nice.
So it's been fun. But in terms of a place that I would like to visit, definitely would like to visit Japan.
Okay.
Um, haven't had a chance to go yet, but there's definitely been lots of planning in how I envision my first trip to Japan. Definitely open to suggestions too from whatever people have for where to visit.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
you know, let
So
me know.
Japan is where you wanna go and visit, or where you wanna live?
Definitely visit
Hi,
just
Bianca.
because I think I'm okay with where I live right now.
Okay.
And in terms of trying to move, I wouldn't want to move to Japan, but probably still within America. I'd probably like move to either Arizona, Washington,
Okay.
or Portland.
Portland's nice.
Yeah,
Portland's
probably
nice.
Portland.
Um, quick question. It says here
Mm.
that there is an option for us to turn on the camera on the Discord. Are you able to turn that on by any chance? Would you be willing to turn that on so we can have chat see um who Moana's guardian is?
uh, Cyrus, I'm gonna have to table that for now. I'm fugly. I just ate and I'm sweaty, but
That's
I
how
will
that's how they like
try
it.
to do this next
It
time.
can't be Transparency Tuesday without you being
Oh no,
transparent.
I'm being full transparent. No, not
Okay,
right now.
no
Another
problem, no
time.
problem. At least you're here. Everybody sees the chat. It's just yeah, I'll set it up next time. It'll get
Mhm.
better, guys. It'll get better, and then this will turn into a more real podcast where I'm gonna actually have them come and visit, or I'll go to them for this.
And then
Um,
it's Cyrus the movie.
yeah, yikes. Um, but yeah, you wanna travel to Japan? What got you interested in traveling to Japan? Like, why
Hmm.
Japan of all places?
Well, there's so many reasons that came about, like as I grew up. First and foremost, my joy for manga and anime.
Okay.
Definitely want to set some sights and see some real life events and places that I've only like seen through books and television. But oh man, the first place that I definitely would want to visit is the giant Gundam statue that moves.
Oh,
Uh,
I gotta break it to you,
Yeah.
bro. They are actually taking it down at the end of this month.
And that's fine because
Yeah.
yes, they're taking it down, but where are they going to put it? It's not like they're dismantling it and leaving it forever. No, they're probably going to use it
No,
for something.
I think
So,
that was the thing. I think they were actually dismantling it. So there's no
oh, what
more.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, what I'm hinting at is, I'm expecting to see them bust out some giant mechas in the future as like some
I
sort
hope
of
so.
weapon against something. Yeah,
I
yeah.
hope so, man.
But I mean, if I don't get to see the statue though, like that's still okay because there's still like a large amount of Gundam related events and other places to go and visit.
Yeah,
But,
definitely.
you know, it would have been cool to see the giant like statue itself move, but it's okay.
Definitely. Um, why wouldn't you want to move anywhere else outside the US?
Hmm.
What is like what is I guess I wasn't born in the US, so I don't have like the same kind of love for the US that I know other,
Hmm.
my other friends do, but like what's so special about the US that you don't want to move anywhere else?
Well, I would want to clarify that. I wouldn't exactly define it as love for the US, but
Yeah.
it's more love for the people that I have here in the US. The US itself is its own like separate opinion that I have.
Okay.
But in terms of the people that I have here, it's my immediate family and then I have my partner's family here too and then I have my friends and you guys too, but
Makes sense.
I think I'm just not really attracted to the whole moving abroad and trying to like start my life over at this point. Like I'm now at a certain age within myself, because everyone has like a relative age and then they have their mental age. But for me, I think my mental age right now is I'm more into trying to cultivate and solidify a place where I can consider my own home as an
Makes sense.
extension of the family's home that I came from.
Makes sense. Um, Interesting. Um, so it really comes down to like family that kind of like you want to stay gravitated towards too. Like,
Yeah, I would say so. Like the I wouldn't want to like move too far away from my immediate family, because I know like they might need me for something, in case of an emergency, or if they just want to hang out. But I do know that I have a lot of other family overseas as well. But I know that they're doing their thing there, and they always send a beacon. They always say that, if you're ever in the area of the planet, stop by, say hello. That's why I'm very fortunate to have a lot of relatives across the planet.
yeah. Do you feel that though? That some sort of like kind of setback? Um, I guess like maybe we can talk about it like even in a cultural perspective, right? Like coming from a Filipino culture, um,
Well, yeah,
we grow up knowing that our parents. Well, I think this is just like a generational trauma too, where it's like kind of like
okay.
where families have like this kind of debt that you feel like you're obligated to.
Mm,
That in a Filipino family, because we're so close knit and we're very like communal. Growing up, you were born, raised, and like surrounded by your families, like cousins, uncles, aunties, everyone, right?
hmm
Whether that be in the Philippines or here in America or any other parts of the country, like family is like the epitome of what a Filipino culture like kind of symbolizes or
mm,
exemplifies. But do you feel that like because of that generational like kind of thought process where it's like, well, I raised you to be this type of person and you became this for this and so now it's your turn to take care of me kind of thing, or even without that gesture or like that conversation or that ever being put out, uh is there some sort of feeling for you where like, well, now that my parents or my family's getting older, I want to be there for them and I want to like grow up and help them and nurture
mm.
them and care for them?
There's a lot of layers to your question. So with with the conversation itself of family being uh, the main motivator for why most Filipinos will stay with each other, I definitely would align myself with that kind of thought. If you were to ask me at different ages of my life, I can definitely say that the perspective changes. As I was younger, I would want to move out, and I did not make that choice because I stayed with my family, but I did know that eventually I wanted to move out. But as I got older, I came more to this kind of like own understanding that I wanted to be closer to my family, but not super close where they're in my face all the time.
Yeah.
I still need my own space.
Yeah.
But I think how I view that perspective and how I've grown throughout the years, it's definitely, I would say, both a barrier, but at the same time a motivator, because I know that within my family extended overseas, they travel out and they do work and then they start roots in other places, and their motivator was like their immediate family. Like I'm very proud to hear that my cousins are out there gaining new experiences, not just in the Philippines, but in Dubai and other places that they like travel to.
Yeah.
So I would say it's kind of both. Like some families have different experiences where family keeps them, but others would have more like a different experience where the family is what pushes them or motivates them. But even that in itself is another discussion of, did I leave because I was motivated to go and supported, or did I leave because I wasn't safe or comfortable? But
That's true.
wi- within my own within my own experience, I can say that I stayed because I didn't want to leave my family. Like after high school, I had the opportunity to travel to SoCal and like do college there, but I stayed local
Yeah.
because I realized like my mom and my dad and my brother still need me, even if I wasn't as present as I should have been. But
Yeah.
in their own way, like they needed me still, and I stayed.
Interesting. I think I think even just that thought, yeah, like everyone has their own experiences. Obviously, everyone has their own choices in life, and you make a really good point about did I leave because I was motivated and supported, or did I leave because like I was in a space where I felt like I wasn't safe, right?
Yeah, and that
Um,
happens a lot.
and safe, like not feeling safe could also mean just like you're no longer comfortable with the environment that you're in, not because
Oh
like
yeah.
you're in an abusive family or something like that, or
Mm-hmm.
even like friends, like too, like friends could be a factor to the reasons why you move to a different place, right? Or relationships, like you meet someone in a different place and you're like, oh my god, I gotta go there because he or she is there, right? Or they.
Yeah, because
Um,
friends are the family that you choose.
yeah, and I think it's for me it's a little different because I look at it as I've always been kind of I guess since growing up we always traveled often. I was very fortunate to be able to experience exploring different parts of the Philippines, for example, starting there. Although I was young, I had moved here when I was 8 years old. Um,
Hmm.
I still got to experience going to different places. My dad would not only do like not only fly us to different places, but we would do road trips going up. And
Mm-hmm.
it was a piece of me that I remembered. I'm like, man, this is what I want to do, not just for with my family, but for myself. Like I want to explore the world. I want to understand what the world has to offer me.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I can't allow myself to be like so stuck in one place, one city, the rest of my
Mm-hmm.
life because I do know people out there that are like that. Like they
Yeah.
grew up like my old high school friends, like they grew up in that same city, went to middle school in that same city, went to high school in that same city, graduated, went to a community college a little further away from that city, but then still back living in their own home, in that city.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I just can't do that. Like
Yeah.
the world is such a tiny place in the universe, but damn, it's still a pretty big place for us people to
To
explore and
explore.
understand. And I feel
Mm-hmm.
like the vast knowledge that I gained and experienced in my life was because of all those places that I got to see.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but also, you make again bringing it back to the point that you had shared earlier. Really, you make a good point about that. Like, was I motivated to move to these places because
Mm-hmm.
I was also supported and it was a place that I felt like I could grow? Or was it a
Mm-hmm.
place that I felt like because I needed a way, like a safe space, a new comfort
Mm-hmm.
zone?
Mm-hmm.
Something I want to share that I actually will turn into a short form content soon. Um, there is a specific quote that I had written down during a time where I was just really like in my thoughts and really trying to create like scripts and ideas also for my short form content. And this was about adventures in life. And this was a true story. So when I was in college, so around the time I met you guys, actually a few years before I met you guys, I started college back in what, 2012? 2012. Yeah, 2012.
Oh yeah, the before times.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I went into an art school 2012. Was really fortunate coming back from traveling as a dancer, um, hip hop dancer, traveled around, performed and did things, and I went to different countries also just to explore. And then I decided to go back to college. But during my college years, I felt like I didn't just want to be in that same city, in that same place. I still wanted to continue exploring. So I did a
Mm-hmm.
lot of like solo trips. I would go on trips with friends, like we would go to Hawaii. We would spend our birthdays. I remember like I had friends where our birthdays were like lined up every single day was a birthday. So it was like October 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and so on. Like going on for I think it was like 10 days straight. We were just celebrating each other's birthdays. and we would go to different places. Like we would hop on a flight to go to Hawaii, and then we were bored, so then we would fly back, come to California. Oh no, we would go to Vegas. Like we would fly straight to Vegas, and then after Vegas, we drove all the way back to LA to go to Disneyland and do all those things. And then on the way from Disneyland, we'll go back to slow San Luis Obispo. We'll go to the beach. Yeah, we just like did a lot of things where we traveled and explored different places. And then I met a bunch of friends like from my work. I made friends through my work where they also love to travel and just explore and utilize like our craft in photography. So we would go to different places, like we would hike, we would go to glaciers, like we would go to waterfalls, we'd travel through the Pacific Northwest. And I would even do my solo road trips. Like all I did an East Coast road trip rather than just a West Coast trip all through the coast. I did an
You
East
got
Coast road trip.
pictures?
I do. I do have pictures. I'll probably post it as a clip one day. When I
Oh
clip
yeah.
through this. But yeah, I did an East Coast road trip where I did visit friends from all those different states that I visited because I had different friends from those areas. But majority of the time I was just by myself. And then
Um,
I recently had thought about those trips and those adventures all around the US, but also around different countries like Asian countries, Southeast Asian countries. Um, and I was telling myself, I went on solo trips and adventures like hiking or exploring remote areas far from others because I thought I was trying to find myself. Now I realized all I was doing was trying to purposely get lost. I wasn't trying to find happiness. I was just running away from my sadness. So, going back to your point on what you said earlier,
mhm.
were you motivated and supported, and that's the reason why you went to these places or traveled or moved to these places? Or was it because there wasn't a safe space for you in the space that you called home? And I think I was both. I was motivated with the fact that I no longer felt comfortable in my place that I lived in growing up, but I
Yeah.
also wanted to find something else that was completely the opposite of what I was feeling at that time.
Mhm.
What's up, Hans? Oh wow, I really appreciate that you're joining. Hans is actually, I think Frisco. I don't know if you got to meet him during my birthday, but he's my childhood best friend, my first ever friend ever here when I moved to America from the Philippines. Really
I think
appreciate
we
you
did
showing up.
make acquaintance. Yeah.
Yeah. Rini asked, in your travels, what's the most memorable meal you've ever had? Oh man, that's tough. Most memorable meal, every food. So I'm a foodie. Like I love every types of food.
Yeah, you are.
I'm not specific. Like I'm not like picky or anything like that. And come on, man, I'm Filipino, so we eat everything, man. We eat anything and everything. But no, culturally inappropriate. We do not eat dogs or cats or rats or whatever. All right, we don't. That's a bad joke. Get rid of that stereotype. But I'm allergic to avocados, so I can't eat avocados.
Oh,
But memorable meal, uh, I would say something in Singapore maybe. I mention Singapore a lot because it is such a beautiful place. I mean, they call it a fine city because you literally get fined for everything, like chewing gum. Oh yeah, it's a fine. You'll get, and it's not like a cheap fine. It's like $100 fine just for chewing gum. There's no trash cans everywhere. You'll probably find them only in your home or in bathrooms or like really,
gotta
really
hold your
like,
trash.
yeah, specific places like in the malls. Not even the malls will have trash cans. Like not everywhere. But in Sentosa, so part of Sentosa is a place in Singapore. There's this particular like kind of like food vendors or food market. Oh, actually, the best way to explain this, you guys have seen Crazy Rich Asian, right? Like that movie was literally in Singapore, filmed in Singapore.
Yeah.
So there was
Okay.
this one particular scene where they went to like just this food market or just like these vendors outside, and it was just like they were just eating like street food style. Um, there's this one specific place in Sentosa that's like that, where the vendors are just out there. You just pick different types of meals. There's like Malaysian food, Ethiopian, um, and they're like other like Japanese, Chinese, Thai, other types of food. And I think my most memorable meal I've had was my first time arriving in Singapore. We had no idea we had accidentally booked a hotel in the red light district. So it was really sketch. And the taxi driver was actually scamming us also, telling us that if we pay him a flat rate of so and so amount, he'll give us trips or just drive around, like drive us around, like for the whole weekend. Um,
To be a personal guy.
yeah, and it was only for 3 days. It was only a weekend when I was there for like, I think like 3 weeks. And it was a very expensive bill, and we fell for it. So, but he kept his word. He did drive us around, but he drove us in like to the weirdest places ever. Um, but there was one particular where we're like, we want to go to Sentosa, take us to Sentosa, and he took us to this like particular marketplace, and it was just like food vendors everywhere, and it was amazing. I ate like it was like a green curry. I don't even know from what culture it was, but it was a green curry, and it like the rice was just it just melted in your mouth. Like the rice itself was melting in your mouth. Like it was like eating steak, but it was rice. Um, it was really good, and it was like chicken curry, like chicken green curry, but there was like spices in it. It was amazing, and I was downing that thing like I was in Dragon Ball. Man, I was like living like I was in an anime where I was just eating it because it was so good. That's how like that's the one thing I can remember. And then
Mhm.
I remember it was my first meal ever that day, and I had the worst runs. Like, and I couldn't find bathrooms everywhere, like anywhere. There were like, it was like very specific areas that you need to go to be able to find the bathrooms. So I ran to this like really, really fancy hotel, and I didn't know that it was like super fancy until I walked in. It's essentially the tower that you see in like anytime you search up Singapore or whatever, Singapore trips or journeys, the first highlight, like even a drone shot that people will probably take, is that famous hotel that has like looks like a Noah's Ark. There's like a boat on the top of, or shaped like a boat on the top of the hotel, or
Mhm.
just sitting there, and it's an infinity pool. That's
Yep.
where I ended up going. I ended up going to that hotel, and I was like, I am so sorry. If I have to pay a fee or whatever, if I have to pay for a hotel night,
Disrespect.
can I please use your public bathroom? It was so bad. It was memorable because I got the runs. That's exactly why it was. It not only was it good, but it was so good it went straight out. Um, but
Oh my
but it was
goodness.
amazing. I remember, yeah, that was a really good food. What else? The East Coast, man. The East Coast, here in the U.S., man, we talk about like California
Say,
culture or like West Coast culture, and like like we're very culturally diverse. I do agree. I can say so. We have a lot of we're in the Pacific coast, so there's a lot of people from foreign countries or different areas that move into the West Coast. Not even just California, but like the PNW, Pacific Northwest, or even down to like going down all the way to San Diego or other parts, right? Um, we have a lot of culture and especially different types of food here. But man, the East Coast, when we're talking about culture, we're talking about food. Ooh, they got the sauce. And like, what I mean by sauce, like the one thing I was put on at the DMV, and when I'm talking about DMV, I'm not talking about like what is it, motor vehicle, whatever, something, something, the DMV where you get your driver's license. See, I don't even know what they're.
Department of Motor
Yeah,
Vehicles
whatever they
Driving.
are, they're so irrelevant to me.
Come
But
on.
um, I only go back to them every 5 years, 10 years. Okay, they're irrelevant. But
What?
but the DMV is termed for DC, Maryland, and Virginia. So the trifecta, Mambo sauce, and I hype it up so much.
What is
But
Mambo sauce?
Mambo sauce is the thing you put on anything and everything there, especially fried chicken,
I put the
especially
shit on
fried chicken.
everything.
So it's like Mang Tomas for Filipino. For
No
like you
way.
can literally put it on anything and everything. Lechon, you put it on your rice. Shoot, put it on your pancit. Whatever, man. Get some Mang Tomas on there. Mambo sauce is what you put on anything and everything, especially fried chicken, because fried chicken is fire there. Um, Southern food, Southern food, just really good. Texas is really well known for their barbecue. So if you've never had like legit like aged down, like they take their time and make them the ribs so juicy and it just tears off the bone like that. That's some good stuff.
So
Um,
I have a question then about your whole food adventure.
yes. Sorry, I know I kind of
Wh-
went on a rant.
No, not really a rant. It's definitely all relevant because, it sounds like what is another motivator for you in terms of why you travel is the food experience.
Yeah, I would. I think so. It's weird because when I
The way you
travel,
describe food,
yeah, when I
really
traveled,
sets away.
when I traveled to these places, it wasn't like my main point of, like my objective to go there is like try their food. Obviously, like when I would go to different countries, I would think about like, okay, I gotta try their food here because it, like, yeah, I could try Japanese food in the U.S., but
Uh-huh.
why get Japanese food in the U.S. when you can get Japanese food in Japan? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Like
Yeah.
that. But I think it was that idea because like I was traveling and exploring different places, not because I was finding happiness in these spaces, but I was running away from my sadness. That food was also a part of my joy in these places.
Yeah. You
That
found
they,
comfort in the food.
I found comfort in the food that made me feel at home, despite me being away from
Mm,
home.
interesting.
Um, and I always, yeah, I think I tell stories about food with a passion just because of that idea that I find home in these spaces that I travel to, not because of the people I meet or the location that I'm at, but it's or like how comfortable I feel in there, but it's because of the
Mhm.
food that brings me nostalgic, like that doesn't nostalgia, like the memories. Because again, going back when I was young, my dad would take us on road trips and we would try all these random food spots, like just off the road, like wherever we would go
Yeah.
he would take us there. We would go to restaurants. Like I remember the first time I ever went to Nevada and we were like by Area 51. There was this random restaurant with an alien, like a large alien like balloon or whatever, and a
Yeah.
UFO as their like their banner logo on their restaurant. We ate at this random spot, but it was fire. Like they had steak and eggs for breakfast and it was just so good. Um yeah, like again, it's just those memories that bring me back home. Have you been to Thailand? I have not. I wanted to. I did like a stopover, like a layover, but then it doesn't count because
Nope.
yeah, I went to Malaysia. I gotta say, Kuala Lumpur, the city from pictures look amazing, but probably my least favorite place to ever go to. I am not. I'm not dissing the culture, the country, or whatever the place. It's just not my favorite place. I think it's also based off a bad experience. I took a bus from Singapore to go to Malaysia, and it was like an 8-hour bus, and it was late at night, and the bus told us that we would arrive by like 7 a.m., 8 a.m. when literally the city's awake. We left at like 9 p.m. In Singapore, and we arrived at like 4 o'clock in the morning in Kuala Lumpur when everyone was still asleep. The city was asleep. And not only did he drop us off in Kuala Lumpur, he dropped us off like imagine like being dropped off in Compton in LA and you didn't know the neighborhood and you clearly weren't part of that like culture and you weren't a local. That's
You look
exactly where
suspicious.
exactly what happened and everyone that this like everyone that got off the bus, we were all looking at each other like, what's a good way to explain this? It was
The
like
truth.
Walking Dead, and you were stuck in Atlanta, and there was a bunch of zombies everywhere around you, and everyone was just like, all right, to each
Oh
their
my
own,
goodness.
peace. And everyone dispersed. Everyone got out of the bus.
Walking Dead.
We looked at each other and we're like, yo, we're out in the cuts. We're not even in the city of Kuala Lumpur right now. We see the towers. We see the two towers.
Mhm.
We know where to go, but to each their own. We're out. Peace. And everyone dispersed. And I was like, what am I gonna do? Like, where am I where am I going? And I was following this couple and it felt creepy because I was this one dude following this couple, not knowing where they were going, and then they were probably thinking, like, what the hell is this guy doing? He's definitely gonna hurt us. And so it was just really weird. And then I finally got to like where the main two towers are in Kuala Lumpur, like the iconic like towers, the financial towers, I think. Um, and then I saw a hotel right across the street, and I was gonna go book a night because it was like early in the morning, but I was only there for 2 days. So I was gonna book a night there, and then they were like,
Mhm.
I was like, I'm so sorry, this is very last minute. I was wondering if you guys have any availabilities, and they saw that I was a foreigner, and so they're like, yeah, yeah, yeah. It came out to the bill. If I had booked it, the bill would have been like $600 for one night. And I kid you not, the hotel wasn't even that great. We were maybe it was probably like booking a hotel in the middle of New York City, so it makes
Mhm.
sense. Like you're like in the middle of Times Square, and it's probably expensive. But come on, $600 for one night in it looked like a motel more than a hotel, and I was getting charged $600, like USD 600. So I was like, no thanks. So you know what I did? I slept in their lobby. I
Oh
went,
my
I took a
goodness.
bird bath. I pulled the whole scheme. I took a bird bath. We call it a bird bath because you like you shower yourself, like you rinse your face, and you use paper towels.
Oh,
Like I used one of their gym towels, like the fresh gym towels that they had at the fitness center. Luckily it was open. I grabbed one of those. I wet that in the bathroom, and man, I wiped myself. I had a bird bath inside their bathroom, and then I took a nap in their lounge, in their front desk. And yep, they were looking at me, and I was like, I'm not paying you $600. I'm gonna sit here until it's time for me to go explore.
I'm
Um,
surprised you did not get called on by the authorities.
oh yeah. Maybe they were more scared of calling the authorities on a foreigner than calling authorities on a foreigner because they wanted to get it away. I don't know. It was a really interesting story. But the malls, because it's so humid and warm there, and it's just like because in Malaysia, their food there is also very distinct. It was like a very particular type of spices that they use in Malaysia. So the environment, the air there, like it smelled like spices. It smelled like curry. And it was just like everywhere. It was just looming everywhere. And like
Mhm.
the pollution there, it wasn't even smog. It was like I felt like it was like those cartoon farts where it's like green cloudy. That's what it
Yeah.
looked like. It was like a green cloud polluted city. And it just reeked. It was so bad. Not even a face mask could protect you. It was that bad. Um, but the food, I still love their food. I'm so
Oh
sorry.
yeah.
I don't think I'll visit Malaysia ever again though. um,
Yes, you will. Yes, you
Rini
will.
Rini asked, "Do you have any spooky overseas stories?"
Oh yeah, ghosts.
Do you have any spooky stories, Frisco? I have a lot of ghost stories.
Hmm. Not enough to spill right now, but I am very curious also as to what your spooky travels are like, considering, you've gone to different corners of the world, and so what encounters have you
Well,
had?
I'm gonna bring it back to Singapore because Singapore was both
Yeah, yeah.
beautiful and both creepy. So I had
Okay.
actually because I had booked a hotel at the red light district. I had canceled my hotel, and I ended up staying with my auntie and my uncle that lived there. So they let me stay there for a week. And get this, I was already going to school. I was going to my art school here in the US. So I was doing my projects and taking my like I was doing like a virtual kind of like class session
Yeah.
during the nighttime in Singapore, because it would be daytime here. Um, and then during the daytime there, I would like go out and explore, and I had like an illustration cast, so I had to like draw, and
Yeah.
so it was a great advantage for me being overseas because I was able to draw like different cities and different people and different like just architecture.
Hmm.
But one particular day, I stayed at my auntie's while they wanted to go to the farmers market. And this was broad daylight, and my God, what's that scary movie in Japan?
The Ring,
No, no, no.
Grudge,
What's the Grudge version? What's the Japanese?
Ju-on.
Ju-on. All right, Ju-on. Because Grudge, Americans, they ruin scary stories. Um,
Yeah.
Ju-on. So imagine Ju-on. Imagine like that sound, that like that noise, right?
No
Okay,
way.
I'm not even lying. If I could put my auntie
Uh-huh.
on this stream right now, I would ask my auntie if you can vouch for me that this happened. So my
Uh-huh.
auntie and my auntie and my uncle, so apparently during that week was the week of mourning for people that have passed, like, or for it was the week of mourning for the families around Singapore for people that have passed. It's like Dia de los Muertos, or the Day of the Dead, right? For like Hispanics or Mexicans.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, no, 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 no sounds. um, but um,
Oh
but
yeah,
it
do
was
the
that
sound again.
week. So I was, and then okay, imagine the apartments that you saw in Juwon in like in Japan, where they're like high story buildings, but they look very creepy hallways, and then the stairways and the elevators are also really old and creepy, where it's like you can see the outside. Every time you were going up and down the elevator, you could see the floor. So that's what it looked like in the apartment complex that my auntie and uncle were living in, and they actually had incense around, like in different steps, like stairways, and even outside the elevators they'll have incense, and then they'll have incense even like on the first floor, like all surrounding like the entire building. And
Of
my auntie
course.
said, whenever whenever you see a light go out, don't look around, just keep walking and don't be bothered. Or
Yep.
if you have a match or if you have a lighter, light the incense again when it goes out. It's to show
Mm.
your respect to the dead.
Yep.
So obviously, I don't carry around matches or lighters, and I'm
What?
walking back. So it was like, I think it was like maybe maybe even like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. My auntie and my uncle had already left. I decided to walk down the building and go like across the street where there was like this vendor, like a food market thing. So I went to go grab food for my lunch. And then I walked back. As I was walking back, I was looking at all the prayer circles and the incense and stuff. And there was a particular pathway that I was starting to walk to get to the elevator. And then the incense starts, every single one started going out. I kid you not. I'm not even lying. Like, I'm getting goosebumps just talking about this. So the incense starts going out, and I was like, please don't let this be real. Like, please let this be a joke. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not ready for this, and I'm by myself. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know what's going on. I get to the elevator, and I'm in this elevator, and the elevator takes so long, and it just so happened I'm on the ninth floor, so it's a long way up. I'm on the ninth floor, and this elevator is taking its time going up. And as it goes up, the floor coming up or getting close to, you can see from like the ground, and then it's like this is the elevator. So,
Yeah.
and this is the floor. So you can see like your head is peeking through that floor, and you can see if people are there. And I kid you not, on the third floor, it was just coincidental. I freaked out. It was just a random person. But the person was standing like it was a ghost. Like they were just standing there like just still. And I don't know why people like move like that or just stand like that.
He wasn't moving.
They
What are you
weren't moving.
talking about?
So I'm going up and I see the feet. I see their feet. And as it goes up and higher, the person was just looking straight at me, and I freaked out, and yep, this is it. And I'm like looking away, and I'm like looking at my corners, and I'm like, please don't look back. My auntie said, don't look back. Just don't, just keep going, just keep moving
Uh-huh.
forward. I get to the ninth floor. I book it straight to their apartment. And their apartment is beautiful, by the way. Like the outside, a little creepy. The inside, interior, it's amazing. But they have old school telephones, like not like old school where like the rotor where
The
you're,
right.
yeah.
You
But
talking
like
about the rotary phone
no, no,
or
no, not those ones. I'm talking about just like, like home phones that still ring and all that stuff, and like it's like
okay,
dial-up
yes.
style. So
Yes.
so I'm there minding my own business, right? I'm eating my lunch in the kitchen by myself. The phone starts ringing. Phone starts ringing. So I'm like, okay, this is weird. Should I pick it up? Should I not? I don't live here. So what if it's like a family member or someone else, somebody I know? Maybe it's my auntie and uncle and they couldn't get. So that's what I thought. I was like, oh, maybe my auntie and uncle are calling me. I pick up the phone. Nothing. It was straight white noise. It was just like crackling. It was just like it was just like that. It was just so bad. Um, and it was horrible. And I was like, okay, maybe it was a wrong dial. Maybe I just missed the call. I was taking too long. So I put it down. As soon as I put it down, exactly as I put it down, it starts ringing again. So I pick it up again, just straight scratches. And I'm like freaking, I'm like, okay, this is weird. So at that point, I'm not even lying to you. At that point, I unplug the cord from the phone
And it
because I'm
still
like,
rings.
I don't want to hear this anymore. I don't like the static noises. The incense went out and I didn't say a prayer. I'm freaking out. I'm a foreigner here. I don't know what's going on, what the culture is all about. Like what do I do? And the first thing I kept thinking on was Juan. I'm like, I'm about to be haunted by some kid or something, and I'm gonna hear the and I'm like, oh my God. And so I was freaking out. I had an assignment I needed to finish in an hour and I didn't get it done because I freaked out
Couldn't
after
focus.
I didn't even finish my food. I ran straight to my room, locked the doors, and I just cuddled. I just curled up in a ball underneath my blanket. And I was like, this is where I'm going to die. I'm going to die in a foreign country that I'm not even like, I've only been
Oh
a few
my
days in.
God.
And I kid you not, as I'm inside my bedroom, the phone starts ringing. And at that point, that's when I knew, yep, I'm fucked. Like, this is it. Like, there's no way. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, the math ain't mathing. And there's no logical sense why the phone would be ringing after I cut off the cord.
Hmm.
And I had no other way to contact my auntie and uncle because at that time I had like a temporary SIM, but I didn't actually save their phone number on my thing. The
Why?
way I was able
Why?
to get in contact with them was when they called me. But it was
Why?
with it was so bad. When they called me and it was on my main line, and then when I put the SIM, my temporary SIM on there, and then I tried to put the main line back, it didn't save that number for some reason. So I was freaking out. I was like, I don't even know what time they're coming back. They said they were just gonna be for a little bit, and it was like probably 5 p.m. close to evening. They come home. Well, actually, at first they're like knocking on the door, and I'm not like I'm like nope. I'm not gonna get the door. I'm like, what if I respond to a ghost? Like, what if there's actually someone there and I respond to a ghost? Yep, that's screwed. I'm screwed. Like, I'm entertaining the ghost at this point. So I'm just letting them knock. And then at that point, they started getting aggressive. I was like, yep, there's definitely a ghost in this place. Like, I'm screwed. This person's angry. And then finally, my auntie and my uncle opened the door and they were calling for me and they're like, hey, are you okay? Is everything okay? We were trying to call you, but the line seems to be cut off. And then I slowly, and I still was thinking to my head, I'm like, what if this was the ghost? What if it's like a poltergeist?
I can't trust anyone.
Yeah, like what if like the voice is just a ghost and they're like sounding like my auntie and uncle for me to respond? And then I had them finally open my door, my bedroom door. I unlocked it. I was like, door's unlocked. And then like I had them open it and I was like this. I had my blanket and I was like this and I was standing in the corner hoping
Oh
that
my
it would be them.
goodness.
And then my auntie and uncle came out and it was them. And I was like, "Oh my God, thank God." And then they were like, "What's wrong? What happened?" And then they were like, "Oh no." I was like, "Did somebody follow you?" And that's the first thing that they asked me. And I'm like, what do you mean somebody followed me?
They knew.
Is
They
this is
hella
this a
knew.
common thing that happens here? And I straight up asked them, I'm like, what do you mean somebody followed me? Why would that be the first question you would ask me? And they're like, no, 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 no. We're not saying like somebody like alive. And I was like, that doesn't help. Don't finish the sentence. It's like, no, but we wanted to know, like, did the incense go out? Like, and at this point, I'm like, all right, Tito, you guys are totally playing a joke on me. Like, yes, the incense went out, but this can't be real. And then they asked when we called and the phone was like wasn't going through. Did you already cut the line? Like, did you unplug the line? And I was like, I don't know. When did you guys call? And they're like, around like 1 or 2 o'clock, around the time I came back from getting food. And I was like, no, the line was still plugged in. I heard like four different calls, and they're like, we only called once. And I was like, no, I was like, please don't joke. No, we only called once. And then I said, well, when I picked up all the lines, it was just like white noise, and it's just like a scratching noise, and I really freaked out. And then my tito and my tita, they were like, yeah, this happens pretty often. Um, we just like to say that it's like technical difficulties that we have here, that we have bad signal in our apartment. Um, But yeah, this happens pretty often. And I was like, well, then can you explain why it still kept ringing when I unplugged the cord? And they're like, yeah, that part we can't really explain, but we just like to believe it's technical difficulties that we're having here. It's not like living in the US, like things are outdated with technology and all that stuff. And that's what happened. That was my ghost story in Singapore. It was a great experience, but it was a terrifying experience at the same time. Um, yeah, I kind of went. I went through that whole story, but
I'm glad you did.
yeah, whew, man, yeah, I would love to move. So coming back to that topic of where would you want to move to and why, I would love to move to like Europe, somewhere in Europe, or like I don't know, Canada. But not, I don't think I want to retire or stay here in the U.S. Like I just feel like
Yeah.
it's no longer me, and I feel like everybody here's way too sensitive, yo. Like they can't.
Can I visit you in Canada?
Yeah, please, I would love to. I'm gonna own my own island there, make my own like weed farm island, and
Uh-huh.
and only have
Uh-huh.
special
Okay.
and only have special invites for you to come and pick from my weed farm. Um,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
yeah, it's gonna be
Fucking bitch.
yeah, it's gonna be an amazing amazing
You're gonna have
lifestyle.
jet skis though, right?
Jet skis. The only way to get there is through it. Yeah, yep. It's the only way. And then actually, you have to go through an underground, like underwater tunnel, just to get to my island. Yeah, that's how I'm gonna live my life in Canada.
In Canada.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love it. I love it.
But I think I wouldn't want to live in an Asian country for a long time.
Why?
I would love to experience it. I would not want to live in an Asian country for a long time
Agree.
because of all the super like crazy horror stories. Because I've had really horrific stories, like really scary stories about my experiences in the Philippines growing up.
That
Um,
shit's real.
yeah, that thing is real. Where do you want to be? Where do you want to live in Europe? I don't know. Like, it really depends. Amsterdam. Uh,
Amsterdam's cool.
uh, somewhere far away from war.
Cyrus, you can't move anywhere on the planet that's not away from war.
I mean, any beautiful
Oh,
Italy maybe. Spain actually even. The movie Hostel makes me scared of Europe. Actually,
oh,
yeah.
dude,
Oh
yes.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, man. See, I don't want to
He's
overthink things.
scared.
I don't want to overthink things because that just terrifies me. Um,
But but that's why though, it's being scared is feeling alive.
yeah. Nah, none.
Yeah, come
Feeling
on.
alive is feeling alive. Like being alive is feeling alive.
Okay, yes, but being scared shitless is also being alive. And
Yeah.
you were scared shitless.
Oh yeah, man. Definitely. Yes.
You got through it.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I can't believe. Yeah, just thinking about it. You see, I'm even stuttering just thinking about that experience. It really was an amazing time. I felt like that place. I mean, even my like 2 hour trip to Korea, like literally, it was a layover. Well, so it was like a 6 hour layover, but 2 hours of me just kind of going around, and then but it was more of like taking the bullet train and going back to the airport. Um, or even like Japan when I did a layover in Japan too, but it was like 2 hours and I kind of explored around the airport and outside, just like outside of it. Apparently, like in Japan, like high school students like to go to the airport for fun. There were a lot of high school students or college students that were in like uniforms that would just go to the airport as like another mall, like it's just a normal thing. Um, where else? Yeah, I can't even think of. But I don't think I would live there. Yeah, I don't think I would live in Asian countries just because of my fear. Um, being
Did you
yeah,
your fear of being?
like my fear of being like in a like a foreign place that I'm not familiar with, and then
Mhm.
like ghost things, paranormal things are happening, and I don't know how to explain myself. Okay, so actually, when I drove through Pennsylvania, oh my gosh, the Amish state, like where Amish people are amazing. They're so nice. I actually have really amazing
Uh-huh.
Amish friends that I met
Okay.
through other friends of mine. But in
Yeah.
Pennsylvania, I went to this hotel. I booked a night at a hotel in Pennsylvania as I was doing my East Coast road trip. And the movie The Shining with the two kids, the twin sisters in their little bike.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in a hotel that was like that. And literally even the hallway, everything looked like it. And I was like, "Wait, did they film The Shining here?" And it was really like.
So paranoid.
And then the worst part was like it was in the middle of no well, it wasn't like in the middle of nowhere. It was a nice city. It was a nice little town and it had really
Uh-huh.
good food, Ethiopian food too, which was really interesting in that part of it, Pennsylvania. But yeah, it was great. Like the food was great. The people were too like nice. It was like Mormon kind of nice. Like you know how Mormons are. I'm not again safe space. I'm not bashing on like religion or anything, but Mormons are like angels to a T. Like I cannot find
Okay.
anything wrong with Mormons. That's how I felt like when I was in Pennsylvania, where like everyone was just like, "Hi, oh my gosh, you're new here, aren't you? You're not from around here." Like I felt like I was about to get murdered by everyone there.
Suspicion
It was like an M
for
Night Shyamalan
everyone.
movie where it was like I was in the unknown, and I'm like just naming all these movies. I was in the unknown where I was like out in the fields, and then like these people were just gonna like like abduct me and then take me to their cult or something. It felt abnormally nice, and I was so uncomfortable with that. But the food made me feel like I was at home. So it was a nice, it was a nice way to kind of be like, I'm scared, but you know I'm alive because I'm eating. Um,
There's a
but it's
bright
all
side to
good.
it.
Um, do you think Frisco, there's anything holding you
Mhm.
back aside from like the family aspect of you wanting to be close to your family? Do you think that there are things that are holding you back from ever making a decision to move somewhere else?
Not really. I'm very open to the idea of, in the future, if my path were to take me across the world, even if it's not in Japan too, I'm very open to still moving out there and finding a way to like leave my mark. But I definitely think visiting places is a good start, to familiarize yourself before finally coming to a decision. So I think I'd still want to travel a little bit more before coming to that decision, but I'm very open to it though.
Well, okay, so you're open to it, but what's holding you
Mhm.
back from doing it now? Like just making it happen now or like even tomorrow?
Mm. Well, there is a lot of finance issues, and then
Okay.
there's also relationship ties here.
Okay.
So, I'm not just making a decision for myself. I need to consider my partner as well. But
Why not bring your partner?
I think,
Why not save up with
well,
your partner?
yeah, of course. But
Okay.
there's that. But again, the decision is just not mine alone anymore to make. I'm
Makes
I'm
sense.
trying to consider that as a partnership kind of deal.
Interesting. Yeah, that's very interesting. I mean, interesting in a way that, like, of course, like it's kind of like a given kind of thing. It's like you know, you're a team, so you make these
Well, I wouldn't
plans.
say given though, because some people in other like couple of relationships don't see it that way, but you know, to each their own.
Yeah, I think, like for example, in my space right now with, with Gentle Dino. Oh,
Hmm.
The Shining was filmed at Timberland Lodge, located in Mount Hood, Oregon. Yeah, yeah, sounds about right. Close enough. Pennsylvania and Oregon.
You
Yeah, they
got
kind of have
fact check,
West and
Cyrus.
East Coast. The Although they're 3,000 miles away from each other, oh man, they resemble that part of Oregon for sure.
You got
Yeah,
spooked.
I got spooked. But yeah, like me and Gentle Dino, like we have this thing where well, maybe it's a more of a me thing than a her thing.
Oh, see?
Yeah, because there are times where I'd ask her, I'm like, can I go out and travel on my own? And I could sense it in her as like, why can't I go with you? um, and to me, it's like it's not that I don't want you to go with me. It's more of like this is a for me thing. Like my entire life is already spent being in this relationship. I still want
Uh-huh.
pieces of my life to still be something that I can say is just for me.
Hmm.
Um, and not to say that like creating memories and traveling together is not a thing because I can do that. We can do those things. But I want those moments where I could just be like, I'm gonna go across the world, even without my
Okay.
partner, and be okay
Yeah.
with it and just know that like, yeah, we're in our own kind of adventure or travel path that we're doing. I don't want to
You guys are
feel
still
like,
a team.
yeah, like we're still a team in that sense, but like I don't want to feel obligated to like have to do everything that I'm doing 24/7 with my partner. Like I always encourage her to have friends outside of my friends,
Mhm.
and vice versa, right? Like we want to encourage each other to do that. um Not everything I go to with my friends, or not everything she goes to with her friends, I have to be, there for. um yeah, and she says, I tell you, you can go, silly. She tells me I can go, but it's one of those like, what's wrong? Is there something wrong? And then she'll be like, no, nothing's wrong, but deep down you're like, you better not say the next wrong thing,
Just
or else
go,
something will be
Cyrus.
wrong.
Just go.
Yeah.
Get out of your head and go.
But I have done things where it's like, I mean, we were even long distance. She was living in the East Coast for more than half of our relationship. Like we were long distance. She was 3,000 miles away from me. So there were a lot of things that we were doing on our own, during our times apart from each other. And I went to different places without her there. And I still want to do things with her and create those memories. But a
Mhm,
part of me now too, as I'm getting older, like I just want to be able to find me. Maybe that, like that narrative again. Let me talk about it, or let me share it again. I went on solo trips and adventures, like hiking or exploring remote areas far from others, because I thought I was trying to find myself. Now I realize all I was doing was trying to purposely get lost. I wasn't trying to find happiness. I was just running away from my sadness. And I think now in my life, I want to go explore different parts of the world on my
mhm,
own, not because I'm running away from my sadness, but because I want to accept that I am feeling a certain way during those moments of me traveling to those different places in my life,
mhm,
to also kind of rediscover a new perspective of why I chose to be in those places in the first place.
mhm,
And then hopefully find a space where I can say like, this is home. This is also home. Um, because to me, I think like a lot of people are held back from going out and traveling, or even moving to a different state or country even. It's because they're afraid. They're afraid of the attachments that they have in the place that they were most comfortable in. And they're afraid of losing all those pieces, as if like being 3,000 miles away or 6,000 miles away from those people will also shatter or cut those ties with them. I don't believe that in my life, in my friendships, and in my family. Um, but maybe it's because I've learned to establish those kind of boundaries with my friends and my family, where my friends understand that no matter where I am in the part of, like, no matter what parts I am in the world, even if I'm gone for a month or two or whatever, or I'm gone for years, my real friends know that, like, they still have me as their friend, someone that they can still confide in, someone that they can still reach out to, and someone that they can visit in a different part of the world. I wanted to be that kind of friend. I wanted to be that kind of person, because it makes me feel like if I continue to stay, I've said this to many people before, and you know this about me, Frisco. When I start
yeah.
saying I'm comfortable in where I am, that's when people get scared. It's like, ah, shoot, Cyrus is saying he's comfortable. That means he's gonna make some big change in his life. He's gonna do something different. He's gonna go. He's gonna go to a
He's gonna
different
act
city.
out.
He's gonna act out. He's gonna move. He's gonna do something different. Whenever I'm comfortable, I feel like I'm no longer growing. And the only kind of comfort I want in life is the comfort I have in my relationships with people. When I say I'm comfortable with my friends and my family and my loved one or loved ones, that is a good thing. But when it comes down to being comfortable in the place that I'm currently living in, or comfortable in my job or my career path, that's where I tell myself, get spooked, man. Like, get spooked, because you're not growing. You need some change. You need to grow, and you need to do better. And I think that's how I always found ways to motivate myself to like go to different places or to even do different things. And I think that's the reason why I'm an artist. I'm multi-disciplined artist, where I can say I'm good at all. I'm a jack of all trades, but a master of none. But even
I would
that has,
agree.
but even that has a saying, you know. Um, it's not actually the complete saying. Most people just leave it as jack of all trades, but a master of none. But the
What
real
else is
quote,
it? Hmm.
the full quote on it is, let me see here. A jack of all trades is a master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one. And that's the part that most people forget. They look at that, they start with a jack of all trades is a master of none. Like that's all you are. You're just good at everything. You're you know you're good at everything, but you're not great at everything. But actually, being good at most things, being good at a lot of things is better than just knowing one thing and then you can't function to do the other things. Kind of like being a handyman at home, right? Like I can fix a toilet. If the
You
thing
fix
is
the
clogged.
toilet?
Yeah, yeah. If it's clogged or if the water is not actually like flushing properly, I can, I don't know, like
I need
fix a
to test
leak,
this.
do something wrong with like something went wrong with the dishwasher. Put on like things in the walls and hang things, like stuff like that, right? Like there are some people where they're just like, no, I'm only good at mounting TVs, but everything else in the house, man, bro, like don't count on me on that. Like that's a master of one. And there's nothing wrong with that either. But I am very okay with being a jack of all trades kind of person. And that's how I've always grown to be. And that's why I always like to also move to different places. Me coming back to this home where I had grown up in, where I was raised, maybe not, yeah, where I grew up, this to me already feels like I don't want to be here. Not in a bad way. Um, Obviously, it's already been a few months that I've been living here, but I've been having this constant conversations with Gentle Dino, and I've been telling her like, when our lease ends, I think I want to consider going somewhere else. I want to live in the East Coast, um, even if it means being far away from my friends here in the West Coast,
Hmm.
because even if I'm far away from my friends in the West Coast, it's more like distance makes the heart grow fonder. It makes me more excited when I get to see them again, when I get to see you guys again. Um, but plus, like, I also have friends in the East Coast, so I won't feel as lonely as, you know, most people just kind of transitioning to a new space. Um, but yeah, I think that's what I want to do. I just the only thing holding me back right now are like tangible, like realistic things, like having a lease that I have to take care. You know, I don't want to break the lease and pay more than what I should when I don't need to, or career growth, being in a space where like yeah, I want to give it some time until I can say all right, I'm done with this. Um, but also like what you said, like ties with bonds that you have with your family or my relationship, like I
Family.
family. Um, I just wanna be able to support her by being here and allowing her to grow in her career endeavors, because that's the reason why we moved back here. Um,
Hmm.
I didn't necessarily need to move from LA. I still had a lot going there for me. The industry was still calling out. You know, I had friends that wanted to connect me in even bigger ventures in the film industry. I still could have pushed myself to do other things outside the film industry in LA. But I chose to quit everything that I had in LA and move here, so that I could support her with her decision in her career. Um, so a lot of it, yeah, it comes down to those things that what holds you back. Sometimes it's not a negative thing, but I think it's also good to reflect if there are things that are maybe holding you back that is becoming negative to you. Um,
Gotta recognize those things, but it's not easy.
yeah, and I hope it's not like that with you. I know you're a very positive person, but you're also very transparent when it comes down to things that are hurting you in your life.
Uh-huh.
Um, you know, so I'm sure that the things that are holding you back, again, not in a negative connotation, maybe not holding you back, but um, proving to have value or worth in your time right now in the space that you call home. There, that's the best way to explain it. They are valuable to you at the moment, they will always be valuable to you. But I hope it won't always be the space where you're telling yourself like, yeah, I'm gonna do that soon, or I'm gonna do that one day. I'm gonna travel with them, or I'm gonna travel with my partner. I'm
Mhm.
gonna go there. I'm gonna
I
save
hear
up,
you.
right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people oftentimes talk about that, and then it never follows through. And then what? 5 years go by. When's your when, man? Like when is your when?
When
10
is
years
your
go,
win?
right? 10 years go by. When is your when, dude? Like, and then 15 years go by, and then you're like, oh man, if only. Rather than when, it becomes a if. And you know, that was the one thing that one of my leaders actually in my old job had told me. In LA, he could see that I was no longer thriving. He felt that I was becoming completely unhappy with my career space. And he gave it to me straight up. He said, I'm not telling he kind of did what I did to you, Frisco. He's like, dude, if you're no longer invested, just leave. Like just drop. But he did it in a way where it was like it was awakening. Actually, it was funny because I did mention my incident with you. I said, "Wow,
Uh-huh.
that's so funny," because I remember a moment like this where I had told someone, a good friend of mine now actually, I told them the same exact thing. I said, "If
Mhm.
you're no longer invested and you're not taking this seriously, just leave." But
Mhm.
then it came from a good place where he said, but it's not because I'm telling you to leave because we don't want you here. You could always come back here at any time. That's the best part about that is you can leave and know that you have something to come back to. But leave before you start saying if instead of when. And the moment you start saying if, it's too late, man. You made the wrong decision already. And so I feel
Interesting.
like I'm
Interesting.
starting to feel that again in my life where I'm like, I don't want to have resentment towards the choices I'm making in my life. I don't want to start saying if, like if only I did this.
Okay.
But I still want to be able to say like, oh yeah, when I do that, which is like in 6 months, and I put myself accountable for it, right? Like I'll put a time frame. And I hope that'll be the same thing for you in that safe, like that same space and mindset.
Thanks, man. You always have to have hope. And that's where I tried to come when we were having our disagreement many moons ago
Yeah,
and remind you of the hope and stuff about people and other experiences. But again, we were just two different conflicting personalities that stood on our ground
yeah.
at the time.
At the time, definitely. Yeah, but very grateful nonetheless. Like thankful for that experience.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
Rini said, "What are your travel tips using credit card points?" Save all your credit card points. Don't use it for anything unless you have a specific destination you want to go to take advantage of it. And be smart about it. Don't be like those people that flaunt it all over social media that talk about like use your points to get a first class seat, business class seat to go 13 hours away. Like no, man, like there is no okay, there is a benefit of sitting first class or business class and like being able to sleep and actually be comfortable, have towel, even have a shower sometimes to actually go to and shower in your own private shower too in like some flights.
What happened
Um
to the sink showering?
um no bird bath. Um but like even having meals and champagne and alcohol just being showered to you, like those are great, yes. But why not experience that when you go to these places? Like why experience it in a plane? Come on, man. Like at the like when you have I think my point in this is like when you have credit card points,
Hmm.
don't waste it on your flight. Check in on the like cheapest flight you can get still using your credit card points. And then when you get there, take advantage of all your credit card points in hotels, food, like restaurants, all these spaces, or even turning them into credits like money, like valuable, like USD, and then exchanging it for that foreign country's currency. That's the best way to use your credit card points. And then with your credit card point, for example, excuse me, I have an Amex Plat. So it's really meant for like traveling, hotels, booking flights, all that stuff, restaurants. That's how I gain the double the points or triple the points or whatever. But once I accrue my points, I don't actually use my credit card points through their portal that they offer me to book these things. I actually exchange my mileage points or credit card points into the said hotel that I want to go to specifically, or the restaurants I want to go to. So, like, you can go, for example, like Hilton, um, uh, or Marriott. You can change your credit card points into Hilton credit, like hotel points, membership points, and they will actually be better for your buck. Cause like sometimes like the credit card points will be like 15 cents to a dollar per point. And so you're actually using up more points. If let's say you had 300,000 points and through the Amex travel, whatever perk thing is, it tells you that it'll cost you 80,000 points to be able to book 3 nights at this hotel. And it's a Hilton hotel. If you had actually exchanged your points from your credit card directly to that hotel would probably give you so much more. And that 3 nights that was worth through your credit card would probably last you a whole week. So you could end up getting 7 days for 80,000 points. So it makes more sense that way. So if you have credit card points and you're accruing them, continue saving it up. And actually, wow, it's funny we're talking about finance or stuff like that, right? I'm no financial advisor. I just want to let you guys know. Don't sue me for this. But credit cards are actually the biggest part of wealth people don't know about. People are wealthy when you have credit cards. You're not wealthy if you're not paying your debts to your credit cards. But my point with that is use your credit cards for almost everything, including like your subscription services. There's one reason. The first reason is if you use your debit card where you're receiving your direct deposit, all your income and all that stuff, and you're using it for subscription services, restaurants, whatever, hotels, whenever you're booking things, you're not receiving anything. You're not receiving any perks, no points or whatever. And two, if something were to go wrong, let's say a fraudulent transaction happened, it would be 10 times more difficult to go through your bank because you had lost money from your debit card or whatever it may be where you have all your money in. So let's say even if you lost like $50 and you know it was a fraudulent transaction, going through that and reporting it to your bank on your debit will probably last 90 days. And then for them to just say, sorry, we can't actually refund you your $50 back. But with a credit card, for example, there's a lot of credit card perks like insurance services. Like, for example, with Chase, actually, like my Chase, yeah, my Chase card too, I have a reserve. And the Amex Plat, they have insurances. So like if I buy, for example, I buy an iPhone from Apple with my Amex, I have insurance that protects my phone if I lose it or if someone steals it or if I want to return it. I still have an extended return period because of my Amex Platinum. Makes it so much easier for me to return. Or if I got my phone stolen literally the same day that I bought it, I can get all that money back by telling my Amex that it was actually stolen. Um, and also, again, with subscription services, it's harder for you to actually remove your subscription services in a debit card than it is on a credit card. Because in a credit card, you can just contact your the credit card company, and then you can tell them, hey, I want to remove this and I want them to stop transacting from my account. They can do that easily. With a debit card, you have to go. They're going to tell you, you got to actually talk to that company and have them remove you, blah, 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 and do all this. So it's not worth it. And then lastly, of course, when you're using your credit card, you're gaining a lot of perks. You're gaining a lot of points or mileage or whatever it may be, depending on what credit card it is that you're using. Even Freedom, Chase Freedom, for example, you get a lot of cash back on every single transaction you make. You don't get that cash back when you're using your debit card. So it's more reasonable to actually use your credit card. Just as long as you're making sure that you're spending only less than 30% of what your credit balance is. Because I say that, one, that's literally what the credit bureaus tell you. If you're lower than 30% on your credit balance spendings, your credit score is good, and you'll accrue it, and it'll go higher and higher. But not only that, but it's because most of the time, anybody that spends over 30% on their credit card balance most likely will have a hard time paying off that credit card. That will be because of high interest rates that they probably have. That's causing them a lot of problems to be able to pay that off. Because when you pay, let's say you're putting down the minimum. Let's say your bill on your credit card is 4,500, and your balance is 10,000. So you're above. You're at 40. You're at 45%. At 45%, your interest rate, let's say, is like 22%. That's a lot. So you're probably like your interest rate, if you're only paying the minimum, and your minimum, let's say they'll probably tell you like, oh, pay $80 a month. And then your interest rate is 180. Now you're paying off $80 out of the interest rate, and you're still gaining $100 more every single time. So you're gonna have a hard time getting rid of your credit card debt. So always just try to limit yourself to 30%, and then just keep asking for a higher, credit limit, like every 6 months. If you can start affording yourself to go higher and higher, then get to that space. But don't go over 30%. Just keep spending that amount, and then pay off your bill twice. Half of your bill, your credit bill, the first half of the month, and then the last half of your month, pay your other credit card bill. It's the best way to do it. And then your points will accrue smoothly. You'll have no problem traveling, and you'll have lots of fun. Don't spend it on first class flights. Don't waste your money on that. It's not worth it. But yeah,
Nice.
that was my ramble about traveling on the credit card points. Thank you for all the questions, by the way. That makes it fun to just be able to answer that too. But Frisco, do you have anything else you wanted to add on? I know we kind of went over an hour, so I appreciate you
No,
being
it's okay.
with this.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you having me here. Um,
Any last thoughts about traveling, moving to a different place, things that you feel like you wish you could do or you want to do? Do you
hmm.
have any of those moments of wishful thinking?
Oh, tons of those, man. But that's why I think it's very important to write them all down. Find a way to log all these places. That way you don't forget, because a lot of life happens so often that you may sometimes forget these kind of like dreams or wishes or wants. So having a place to recall them is very important.
Makes sense.
hmm A vision board, if you will.
Yeah.
That's one way to put it.
So let's speak one to existence together. If there was one particular thing that you would want, or what, even a small like place that you would want to go to visit with your partner, where would it be, and when would it be?
Oh, we're gonna go to Japan, and for sure in the next like 5 years. That's part of the 5-year plan.
Okay, why don't we make it in the next 2 years?
Are you trying to go?
I would go with you. Yeah.
All right, man.
So
You gotta show me around then.
2026. Why don't we make it happen? 2026. You and your partner start saving up. Let's go to Japan in 2026.
We will see. Maybe because there's some schooling I need to do.
Okay. And
Yeah,
there
I'll tell you
are
more about that too.
okay. Okay. But I want to set like that mindset. I want to set that mindset. I think even with you, all right?
hmm
Uh how about let's start somewhere small. We can't go to Japan in 2 years, maybe in a 5-year plan. But where can we go in the States, in the US, that you feel that you can travel to that would also be less costly?
Hmm.
If there was actually a city or a state that you want to visit, without thinking about cost,
Yeah, without thinking about cost,
where would you want to go in the United States, in the US?
I think I would want to visit Seattle.
Seattle? All right.
Yeah.
Seattle. That's doable. So on my birthday this year, we're going to Seattle. On
What?
my birthday month, we're going to Seattle. I'm taking you and your partner,
Uh-huh.
and I'm speaking it to existence because it's a very
Yeah,
doable thing. Whether it be a
very
road
important to
trip,
speak.
let's go camping. Yes, we'll go camping. We could do that. We could go camping in Seattle. Actually, there's a lot of beautiful places there. Um, We could even go camping somewhere here, wherever we're at right now. Like, there's a lot of good
Okay,
places that we
yeah,
can
let's
go.
do that then.
So let's start with
Let's
that. Let's start with
let's go
summertime.
camping here.
Summertime, we'll go camping. I think even taking these baby steps allow us to be able to fulfill our dreams or goals, even in the smallest ways, right? It
Yeah.
makes Japan more achievable, for example. Like you, like, oh man, I went camping in summertime and I said I was gonna do it. I made it happen. I wanted to go to Seattle during October or November, December. I made it happen. So then you can start telling yourself like, I can make Japan happen too. I just set a date, make it happen, go there, right?
Mhm.
But let's start baby steps. Let's go camping this summer. I'd be down. I can make it in real life stream. I could start doing that. We could do that while we're camping, make
Mhm.
content out of that. But also, we're still going to Seattle. We're still going to Seattle. Like October, November, December, sometime around that. Maybe even September. Um,
Okay.
but I'm speaking it into existence. We're making it happen because I want us to start living the when, not the
Yeah.
ifs.
Okay.
Um,
I hear you.
I want to be able to experience that even with you, my man.
Oh.
Just be able to say like when we do it, and then when we get there, we're like, hey, remember when we said that, and then look at where we are now. I don't want it to be one day a conversation of us saying like, hey, remember when we said that, and if only we actually did it, you know.
Mhm.
So let's start with that. We're gonna go camping sometime this summer. I'd be down. We can figure out where to go. I'll definitely hold you accountable because your partner said it.
Okay.
So,
I
um,
will talk to you more about logistics then,
yes,
for a camping trip, and
yeah.
then I definitely want to assess your Boy Scout skills. Let's see how you survive in the wilderness.
Oh man, I'm fine. I'll be fine. I'll be all good.
You're gonna get too spooked.
We'll be
I'm s-
okay. I'm just kidding. No, I think we'll be fine. Go
yeah, we'll be
camping
okay.
in that. Wow, go camping in a suicide forest. No, no, thanks. Have you seen that Japanese movie? It was an American movie actually, but they went to Japan and the sister got lost in the suicide
Oh, I've
forest.
seen that one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's as horrible as that movie was. I would never want to go to the suicide forest. One, out of respect, actually, because Japan has a very respectable symbol behind the suicide forest. It's not just because people have given up their lives there, but it's a space for them to respect, those that have passed away in that forest. Some have gotten lost, not on purpose. Some did take their lives away, in these spaces, but there is definitely still a space there that I think I would want to respect. And I don't want any bad juju following me coming back. I have enough bad juju that follows me around.
Uh-huh.
so
Uh-huh.
so yeah, but yeah, definitely outside of the stream, we could talk more about logistics. I'd be happy to plan things out because we could totally make that happen, even with our other friends. I'm sure they'd be
Hmm.
down to join us. Um, it'd be a
You just
good
gotta
time.
put the call.
Yeah, it'd be a good time to just bond with them again and just bring everyone together. Brian has been on my stream like almost every other day. Um, so I might as well invite him to that too. But yeah, we'll talk more about that, and then Seattle for sure. Holding us accountable for that, so that way we can talk about our wins, not our ifs.
I appreciate that, man. You
Oh
know,
man,
you definitely pushed me out of my comfort zone, and you've always been a person that will tell me about comfortability, right? But
yeah,
I think it's also important to recognize that sometimes the comfortability is not just the places you change, but the mental mental hurdles that we put ourselves through.
yeah. I think yeah, I think a big part of it is like when I'm comfortable, maybe I do get scared. Like it's a trauma thing I'm trying to figure out about
Yeah,
myself. Like, oh,
yeah.
I'm comfortable. Oh no,
Hmm.
like I'm not gonna get better at life. And then, but it's like it's that mindset I'm already instilling in myself. So then I'm not getting better, But I could be comfortable and still grow. Because everyone has done that. There's a lot of people I know that have lived in the same place, but they felt like they've grown up and matured
Of
and
course, of course.
lived good lives, and I don't, I don't take that on them.
Nope.
So, but I definitely want to. I want to encourage you to, I think, not seek more, but just experience more, to for you
Oh,
to feel more fulfilled about where you are today in your life. Um,
thanks, man.
Not to say that you're not, because I'm sure you are in many ways. But I think
Yeah.
it's a good break. You know, sometimes we all need it. Sometimes we need a
Hmm.
break from reality, whatever that reality may be for each of us. Um,
I,
and
I
we
appreciate you for wanting more for me. You know.
Yeah. And we can set new realities by visiting these places, exploring these places, right? These
Hmm.
realities that we set for ourselves and say that, oh, yeah, we're taking a break from reality. No, we are creating more realities from memories that we create from these spaces that we go to and travel to. I think that's why I wanted to have this conversation through that space because, yeah, that's just what it is.
Just what it
Traveling,
is.
moving to a different place is creating a new reality for yourself that allows you to be more comfortable with yourself. Yeah. But thanks for joining me in this chat. Thank you, Rini, for actively sharing your thoughts also on the chat, and Gentle Dino, and Hans, Bianca. Really appreciate everyone that did come in during this time. Although I went on like off tangent with all my stories. Go camping
That's
in
how it is.
go camping in VR. That would be pretty insane. I would probably do it with the Vision Pro, the Apple Vision Pro. I don't know how I would do it the Meta with the Meta one. I'd be kind of scared doing that one.
I probably for sure try to prank you, and that's 100% on me.
Yeah, I'd freak out. I'd freak out for sure. But that'd be fun. Well, I mean, we're already gonna plan it. We're gonna make things happen this summer, so we can make really fun stuff happen in camping. Um, we might even be able to see Frisco wrestle a bear.
Oh man, you want to see that? Okay.
I feel sorry for
All
the
right.
bear. I feel sorry for the bear already.
I better start stretching.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, man, thanks for joining me in this chat. I know it's getting late as well, and I appreciate you taking your time after dinner. I'm actually gonna call it a night for myself too. I don't think I'm gonna play. Well, maybe I'll play video. I'll come back. Uh, Chat. I'll come back on the stream later. I'll probably just go grab food first. I didn't even eat my In and Out
You
yet.
need to eat, man.
Yeah, I didn't eat my In and Out yet. Um,
You have In-N-Out and you didn't eat it?
I actually only got fries because I got chicken bake from Costco. Weird
Oh,
combo.
still. No,
Yeah.
not weird. Put the fries inside your chicken
Yeah,
bake.
actually, that's what I was gonna do, and it was grilled
See?
with it was fries with grilled onions. I was putting my
I got you.
whoever sees this, whoever gets all the way to the end of the stream, congratulations, you got a new trick with a chicken bake from Costco. Getting In and
The
Out
secret
fries with
word
grilled
is
onions.
chicken bake.
Chicken bake.
Yeah, the secret word.
Secret word is chicken bake. Oh, Lethal Company. Oh shoot, this guy's playing Lethal Company. Oh, okay.
All right, I guess you're hopping on.
No, no, no. I'm not gonna play yet. I'll play later.
Go eat.
I'm gonna
You need
go
to
eat
eat,
first.
man.
Thank you, Rini. Thank you, Frisco, for joining. That is
Uh-huh.
the end of my Transparency Tuesday for now. I'll be back again later. See you, bro. Appreciate it.
Later, man.
Yeah.
Later.
Have a good night, man. Chicken bake is the word. Peace out, guys. Thanks for the chat. Thanks for joining me in this podcasty weird thingy that I'm trying. I'm sure it'll get better too, but I appreciate y'all.